People ask, how do you know if they're ready for college wrestling or, at any level? But they usually ask about, like Division I wrestling because they watch Big Ten Network and Penn State, and they follow Iowa State, Oklahoma State, and all the big schools. You just have to compete on the national level. That's basically it. So you need to go to Super 32s, which is coming up in a couple weeks, right? End of October. You need to go to Virginia Beach, which is the NHSCA, National High School Coaches Association Nationals. That's generally in April. Those are the big ones. And then Junior Nationals, which is called Fargo. If you can make that team, that's good, but not necessarily mandatory. But it's another opportunity. You just want to butt heads with the nationally ranked guys or girls, and you want to beat them. If not, you want to make sure that it's a very close match and a scrap so that you show that you are a fast horse and you're running with the fast horses and that you're nipping on their heels. Virginia Beach I really like because there's a freshman division, sophomore, junior, and senior, so 4 different divisions. Super 32, you freshmen will get thrown to the wolves and beat up a little bit. It's still good for you. Junior Nationals is broken up, right? You have cadet and junior, so that's a lot more user-friendly, easier to place out there too. Certainly if you go to one of the big fancy private schools like Blair or something, you don't need to worry about it. Your dual meets and a lot of your tournaments are against nationally ranked opponents, but for almost 100% of us nationwide, you don't get a chance to compete against those guys. Now, sure, if you're large schools, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Iowa, Illinois, right? You go to Chicago, you got to beat nationally ranked opponents just to get third place there sometimes in the large schools. So some of you guys who are in big-time wrestling states who are in the smaller divisions, hopefully you can meet some of those guys, but that's an advantage, though, because if you're a small school guy in Illinois, you can go to some tournaments and off-season and stuff and try to bump into some of these top guns, because I guarantee you somebody who's ranked, 11th in the nation at 135, who's a junior, he's on somebody's radar, or she is on somebody's radar. So you just kind of go hunting and you take them guys out, and that's how you kind of get noticed, right? People say rankings don't matter. Rankings matter. If they didn't matter, they wouldn't keep them, okay? Rankings matter so much. You should be obsessed with your ranking. Now, sure, you can get beat by someone who's ranked below you, and you can beat someone who's ranked above you, but it does matter. If it didn't, they wouldn't keep them, right? So your goal is to hit some of these big tournaments and take out some of the fast horses or come very close. In addition to those 3 tournaments, if you can make the cadet or junior dual team in freestyle in the summer for your team, right? That's pretty good. So you're in Utah, not necessarily known as a wrestling powerhouse. You make the cadet team, maybe go to Cadet World Trials, or you make the cadet junior team, and your Utah goes to the cadet duels, right? Let's say they're in Oklahoma City, and you go there and you beat a senior who just committed to Oklahoma State or OU. Guess what? You put that on your resume. And obviously, we have a college recruiting center at PurlerWrestling.com. We're nipping on the $5 million mark as far as college recruits. We basically kind of act as a broker. Now, you don't need us if you're winning world titles, okay? If you've gone to junior nationals and you've placed 2nd and 3rd, you probably don't need us. You probably already have people calling. But it's all the other 98.5% of the athletes who basically maybe have proven that they're a fast horse, but just need that extra help. And, we're just bringing the buyer and the seller together, right? You're the seller, you're selling your skills and your commitment to a college team, and the buyers are buying you up from a college standpoint. And, at the very least, even if you are getting recruited, if you want to get recruited by other schools, maybe outside your state, it's not that difficult for you guys who are placing in state a few times to get recruited by some of the smaller schools in your state. Still very awesome, very exciting. But if you wanted to get people sort of excited about you, maybe even fighting over you a little bit. They dig a little deeper in their pockets. They come up with different opportunities. So that's one thing that we also do. Simply, it's important that this, if you get one opportunity and you go there, you might not make it. You get 4 or 5 or 6 opportunities. Now you can kind of shop around. It's like car shopping. The worst thing that can happen is you jump on the only opportunity that you had and you get like a 10% scholarship and you're not happy and you quit. Maybe you don't even get a degree, or maybe you quit wrestling in general. Happens all the time. So just getting a lot of options and saying, man, Purler really helped me and Trevor really helped me, and they got these opportunities for us. So you could always check us out there too. But if you want to know if you're ready for big time college wrestling, just go to the big time high school tournaments and take out some of the top dogs. And and if you don't, you at least come very, very close, right? I always talk about Alex Clemson. He trained with us in high school. He's now, a grown man. He's the head coach of Maryland University, Big Ten coach. He went to Virginia Beach, didn't place as a senior, even though he was wrestler of the decade in Missouri. The dude's a freaking savage. But, he beat some top dogs, and he got recruited to Edinburgh, was an All-American, medaled in the U.S. Open, and worked his way up the coaching ranks. Now he's the head coach of a division of a Big Ten program, University of Maryland. Alex Clemson, check him out. So, my son the same way. Brad Dickhouse, same way, NCAA qualifier. He didn't place at Virginia Beach, but he came very close. So, winning is what we want. But if not, you're at least showing that, hey, I can run with these guys, right? Because most of us have a huge upside, all right? If you're in Pennsylvania and you're professionally trained and you have a nationally ranked team and you have workout partners who are nationally ranked, your ability to grow is still tremendous when you get in college, but it's not as much as, someone from a smaller state who goes to these big tournaments and finishes, in the top 20, the top 15, and, maybe has a few holes in their game. Maybe he's a first-generation wrestler. Maybe he's never been around, like this, Purler wrestling. You don't have something like this. You don't have a 26,000 square foot training facility that you can walk into anytime you want like we have. Our athletes are very, very spoiled in that way. You might not have that. So there's a big upside for you. But so, also last thing I'll say is make sure that you're winning and losing the right way. If you put your head down and you're showing weakness and, people want to see you compete. And you're still a kid, but you can compete like a man and make sure that even if you get beat by 15 points, that you're scrapping and you're fighting. And if you're a brawler, they want to see you brawl. If you're a shooter, they want to see you shoot. They want to see you get back to the middle and compete and get your shoulder to the wheel and try and compete because they're like, man, I like that kid. They're going to remember you. You're like a really good piece of clay that they can mold into something. They can work with that. So that's very important too, is how you win and how you lose. And, that's important all the time, but especially when you're trying to impress these coaches. So good luck to you guys. Hopefully you can obtain your goal, and this video was helpful.